All right, so this is recording. Nice. So let's go through this, and I'll mark up as we go. Can you guys see the red font on here, or color rather? Is this okay? Or do you prefer like a darker color?
Red is okay.
I love red.
Okay, great. Red is fun. All right, so what do we have here? Up to this point, who's speaking in line 481 and 482? Who's the pater that we're talking about here?
The pater, it's Peneus.
Yeah, Peneus. Okay, so what does he want from his daughter Daphne?
Grandkids.
Yeah, give me grandkids. And what else?
And a son-in-law.
And a son-in-law. Okay. But that one, who are we referring to now?
Daphne.
Daphne, yeah. Who'd like to take this chunk from here to here and give us a translation? Anyone feeling particularly spicy today?
So spicy. May I?
You may.
That one, hating the matrimonial torches, just as a crime, the beautiful face glows with a modest blush.
Okay. The beautiful face goes with a modest blush. Is that what you said?
Fills.
Oh, fills. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's good. I think we contended with everything. So what is Tidos going with?
The Eugales, right?
Yes, Tidos and Eugales are going together. Good. And Exosa is going with what?
Aura.
Mm-mm. It's in that very same line.
Freeman.
Nope.
Ella.
Yep. Okay, but can we talk about why though?
Similar ending.
Well, the similar ending, yes. It's pretty reductive though. Why? Do we know what Exosa is coming from? If you look at your notes, it'll tell you.
Here's the other question.
Mm-hmm.
Exosus autumn hating detesting. So it's like
It's
like
a-
a participle.
It's actually, well, perhaps it did at one point come from a verb. That's possible. But here it's being used adjectively, it's an adjective. So hating or detesting. Now, in terms of gender, number, and case, what is it most nearby? Like, would she be hating, like the hating face, aura? No, that doesn't make sense. So it's not going to go with that. All right. Now, how did you guys deal with Kremen? Like, what is Kremen?
It goes with Willard.
It goes with Wellet. So what do you mean by that?
It's like I don't know how to say it, but it's like a phrase that goes with it. Clause that goes with it.
Possibly. What is Wellet?
It's a comparison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like just as or like similar to. But when you have that just as, it's going to equate two things usually, right? Just as this is this. So what two things are being compared here? The Kremen, the torch. What kind of torch? The Eugales Tidos. Okay, so Kremen, Tidos, and Eugales are kind of all being put together here. So that one, let's see. Hating, Exosa. the marriage torches, I guess. Just as a crime, or like a crime. Okay, what happens, DJ?
What happens?
Yeah, what's the next chunk you said?
I said the beautiful face fills with a modest blush.
Good. Yes. Okay, so verecundo and rubore, and then we've got pulchra and ora. Okay, and saffuderat is our verb. Now, you said with a modest blush. What case is that?
Have it.
Good. Okay. Let's bracket that. Is it helpful to see the translation written out?
Yeah.
Okay. Face fills, yep, with a modest blush. Okay. Now we've got our next, are there any questions on those two lines? No? Okay. Be truthful. How far are we in our translation?
This far.
So you did, so this is, what's coming up next is going to be essentially a site translation for y'all?
No. We finished. Right?
For homework?
Well, yeah, like, did you prepare anything?
Yeah, like up
Okay.
to 47.
Okay, so you're up to 487. Did anyone get farther than that? Okay. Good.
Yeah, you did the homework.
I know. Well, you remembered because I was stupid and didn't post it like a turd. Sorry. Okay. So would someone want to take this chunk here? From inque to lacertis.
Yes, I can't.
No?
Tiger by the top.
Clinging with charming arms on her father's neck.
Okay, so clinging with charming arms.
Are you just writing what I said?
Yeah, I'm writing what she said.
I
Yeah.
just think
Keep
that's
going, keep going.
Keep going. So clinging with charming arms on her father's neck, you said?
very continuous maidenhood father. Jupiter keep this to Diana. Oh, is that what it said?
Okay, you're on the right track. Let's unpack that. So all right, what we're starting with here. Well, we won't start with that, actually. Let's not start with that. So you said clinging. What word is representing clinging?
Starts a little soft.
That's okay.
Interlock. What is it?
Nope, that's arms.
Oh.
Not
The
sure.
NS1.
The NS one. DJ, why do you say that hirens is clinging?
Because that's a participle.
What kind of participle, DJ?
It's a present active participle.
It is a present active participle. And it has NS in it, right? Is that how we know?
Yeah.
All right, what's another?
NT.
Yeah, okay, so if it's either an NS or an NT, it's going to be a participle present active of some kind. Okay, but this one, NS, it's the nominative. So she, clinging. Now, with lacertis and blondis, right? Those are probably going together. What about patris, though? Is it going with patris also?
No.
No, it's not. Okay, let's think about this. So clinging with charming arms. What case are Blondis and Lacertes? With. Yeah, they're both ablatives, okay? But patris comes from pater patris, right? So is that ablative then? Let's think our third declension. Ex is ema ace ibus ace ibus. No, it can't be ablative. So it's going, but what does take the ablative though? Nearby. I'm sorry. Scratch that. Sorry, what case is patris then? It's genitive. Okay, so it's a genitive and it's going with something, and you translated it as clinging with charming arms onto what?
Like neck of her father.
On the neck of her father, yep.
You ever heard of like a cervix? No? Just me? Okay. I take A and B.
Oh.
Well, I thought the cervix was like a lady part.
Oh no.
Oh, it's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, how can that? What?
Yeah.
Oh, we learned it in English the other day.
Cervix.
I have the power.
Yeah. Wait, is it cervix? Oh, they have two meanings. They also have the women.
Right, because you can get cervical cancer, but I know that has nothing to do with your neck.
It's two meaning, and the other is the neck, and the other meaning is like cervix uteri, which is
Oh,
like
of the
yeah.
neck of the uterus. Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
same thing.
Huh, okay.
Nice.
So they're both necks, just one's a little higher and one's a little lower. All right. So clinging. Thanks, A and P. I appreciate that. Who teaches A and P?
Miss Daisy.
Oh, Miss Davy. She's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So beautiful face fills with modest blush, blah, 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 onto the neck of her father. Okay. Why is this important? Is that an important... Well, think of it like cinematically, right? You're watching the scene play out in your head. What's going on with these two characters? Like, what is she trying to kind of like act like?
No, Daddy, please.
Right,
Yeah.
and she like puts her arms around his neck like a little daughter might do to like a father, right? So maybe she's trying, I don't know.
That's what I do.
That's what you do when you ask your dad for stuff?
Yeah.
You say, oh Dad, I, DJ, need this thing. Here's a hug. Ooh.
Do you do that to anything?
All right, so she says, Dixit. What does she say?
Dami perpetua genito carisme.
Yeah, so genitor carissime. What case is that?
Superlative.
Okay, so that's a degree.
It's
Yeah.
a superlative degree, but it's an ablative case, isn't
Mm-mm.
it? Wait, let me see.
Look at the word genitor. Right, so these words are probably going together because they're in the commas as a chunk. And look at the vocab entry for genitor. I'm pretty sure they give it to you. Genitor, genitoris. Do they give a gender?
No.
Okay, so genitor, genitoris. Then genitor has to be what case? Nominative. But what do we know about another case that looks like it's not?
Vocative.
Yeah, vocative. Now, carissime kind of clinches that, right? Because if it's carissimus a right, what's the only vocative that's slightly different? What's the only vocative that's different than the nominative?
Only vocative.
The only vocative that's different from the nominative.
Little.
Second declension masculine, right? So it's not carissimus, it's carissime, because it's the only one that's different. Right, do you see how that We figured that out?
Mm.
Okay, so, oh, dearest father, she says. Okay, this is vocative. Da mihi. Okay, da, what form of the verb is that?
Damihi, form,
Yep, what mood is da?
imperative.
Yep, imperative. Okay, and as a quick review, what are the other two moods? There's imperative, there's subjunctive, and you're close, indicative. Yeah, okay, so indicative, imperative, subjunctive. Okay, so, oh dearest father, da, give mihi. Yeah, give me or give to me. Now, perpetua, the note tells you, what's it going with? Virginitate, yeah. Okay, give to me. And what are we going to do with frui, though? Does anyone know what that is? To enjoy. Okay, do they give you any more information on that word? Yeah, okay, so if frui takes the ablative, could it be taking perpetua virginitate? Yes, it can. All right, so I guess maybe we would say, give me to enjoy, right? Because it's infinitive. Perpetua virginitate.
Everlasting virginity.
Yes. Okay, now, this next, any questions on that? So this is an infinitive. Okay, last chunk of her dialogue here. Who is doing the dating? What's the subject of dated? Is it hoc or is it pater?
Oh.
Are you sure?
No, pater.
Are you sure?
No.
Well, let's reason it out. Let's logic this out. Okay.
Yeah.
Pater, patris, right? Third declension. All the forms of that, let's think of our endings, right? Ex, is, ema, ace, ibus, ace, ibus. So pater, can it be anything else other than nominative?
No.
No. So it has to be our subject. Technically, hoc could be either nominative or accusative. So if it could be both, then this is probably our direct object here. Okay, now ante, is this a preposition?
Yes.
Yes, meaning before, but is it a preposition here?
Here, no.
Here, no, it's just an adverb, right? Okay, so how did I figure that out? It's got to do with this word here, dianai.
It's because it's dative.
Yeah, it's dative, and we know that, whoops, I just reversed that in my brain. Dative. Okay, ante takes what case?
Dative
As a preposition?
as the direct object.
Ante takes the accusative, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
I think so. Want me to check?
No.
Well, no, I'll check, because I don't trust me sometimes. Yeah, ante takes the accusative. Right, because remember, prepositions can only take two possible cases, either the accusative or the ablative, right? So because dianai is dative, it's not a prepositional phrase. If dianai were accusative, then yes, it would be a prepositional phrase, but it's not here. Okay, does that make sense? Do you see how you like logic and reason it out? Okay, so understood her.
No, it's Jupiter.
Oh,
It's referring to Jupiter.
well, it's referring to it, but we want to not translate. Like, we don't want to just.
Father.
Yeah, we don't want to say. We wouldn't want to say Jupiter. I mean, if you wanted to bracket it off so you show the reader that you know what you're talking about.
The Father has given this. Has
Yeah.
given this.
Could we also argue that Diana is genitive? If-
Father.
The father of Diana? Could we do it that way
What does Ante
too?
go with?
Ante is just hanging on its own, just means before.
I don't know because it can't cling on to any accusative or adjective.
Well, what if it's just hanging on to pater? So like the pater of Diana dated hoc, gave this before, granted this before.
I mean, it would come out to the same effects, wouldn't it?
It would, but I'm just trying to show you that it could possibly be both.
Yeah.
You could argue for it both ways. Okay, so you can either say it's dative or it's genitive, depending. I mean, like you can argue it either way. Question.
Like an adverb, so if you're just by itself, like what case should it be?
If it's an adverb?
Yeah, like you say it can just accusative by itself.
So, well, all right, think of it this way. If ante were a preposition, you would need to have an accusative following it, or an accusative that it's linked with before something,
Yeah.
right? But it doesn't really go with hoc, and like it wouldn't make sense to go with hoc. And Dianae is definitely not accusative. So therefore, ante, this form of the word, it's just an adverb. Ante can either be a preposition or an adverb. Now, as an adverb, it just means like, she did this thing before. Right, which is different than saying, like, she stood before the temple. Right, that's a prepositional phrase. You see the difference? Okay, so this thing has been done before. And that's how it's being used here. So the father, whoops, I just erased some stuff. Does that make sense? Oh man, I did it again. The father, which one do we like better? Do we like Diana as a dative or a genitive? Which one would you?
I like it as a dative.
Hmm?
I like it as a dative.
You like it as a dative? Yeah. What about you, Nathan?
I put it as dative.
You put it as dative? Okay. All right, so the father gave this to Diana. We could say before, we could say previously to make it sound more adverbial. Okay? But we know we're talking about Jupiter here, right? Because that's Diana's dad.
Everyone's dad.
Yeah, everyone's dad, because he's just a lovely guy. Too lovely. Okay. Any questions? All right, so this is the part where it's going to be essentially sight translation for everyone except Nathan, right?
Yeah.
The translation in vocab.
It was.
Oh, we did the vocab.
Oh, you guys did the vocab?
Yeah.
Oh, so I should have had a vocab quiz today.
Oh, we did it.
We did it. No. We
Nah, you guys didn't do the vocab.
Study it.
You guys didn't do the vocab.
No, no vocab.
Nah, we didn't do the vocab.
You didn't do the vocab.
I did it.
Looks like you started the vocab.
No one did the vocab. Oh,
No,
we're talking
no,
about
no one did the
like
vocab.
the one from last
No one did the vocab.
week. We did the
Nothing,
nothing.
nothing.
I like how you're trying to negotiate.
Nothing.
This is funny.
Nothing.
This
No,
is
we
really.
didn't do it.
Uh-huh.
No vocab.
Yeah,
No, none.
vocab.
None at all. Okay. All right, so let's just kind of work through this together with the assistance of Nathan having been prepared. Okay. So now we're talking ille. Ille. Who is ille now? It's masculine. Who are we talking about?
Oh, the man.
Huh?
Here.
Isn't it her father?
Wait.
That.
Oh, yeah, no, it is her father. Sorry, I had to like situate myself for a second. Yeah, we're talking about her father, right? Because she asks him, she's like, Dad, give me this thing, please. And so then the author, this narrator or whatever, says, Ille, that one, obsequitored. What did he do?
Obeyed, complied.
Obeyed or complied. Yeah, so let's think about that Latin verb for a second. It's a compound. Sequor, sequari, secutus sum. What kind of verb is it? Is it a regular verb or is it a deponent?
Opponent.
It's a deponent. Okay, Elaine, do you remember how many principal parts a deponent has?
3.
Yeah, 3. Oh, I love it. Okay, sweet. All right, now it's a compound though. It's got ob in front of it. Do we know what that how that changes the word? Have we seen that preposition before? Ob? Okay, you can consult the dictionary. And then tell me how to say French fries in Latin.
Prefect?
That's me.
Ob? OB means prefect?
No, like, yeah,
Pref?
Wait, what?
Preposition, you mean?
Wait,
Preposition.
what's PREF?
Oh. It's,
You're looking up ob in the... Okay, hang on.
No, like
are
PREF.
you sure? PR, perfect?
I'm looking.
Preface.
Preface.
Yeah.
It just...
Prefix. Prefix. Why did that
Oh,
take us so long?
prefix.
Yeah, okay, so skip. So we know that ob is being used as a prefix here. And it gives you other iterations or other possible iterations of that. But if you look on page 283. Yeah, with accusative. What are some meanings for that? Ob.
Before, in front of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, before or in front of, yeah. Sometimes it can mean on account of or because of. Okay. So if sequor, sequari, secutus means to follow, and ob just means like on account of or for the sake of instead of, like how might that change following? Why would it change it to obey? Do you think it just kind of like makes it more intense of a verb rather than just using plain old sequor? Maybe?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yikes. Okay. All right. So that one, that guy.
This one complies.
You say this one?
Definitely.
Alright.
If it was that one, what would it be? I mean, if it was this one, what would it be?
It would be
Enlist? Wait, no, illa.
Different word. If it was this one,
Ita?
it would be heek.
Really?
It would be heek. Yeah, heek, hai, kok is this or these. Illa, illa, illa is that or those. And if you want something that's like a little more grumpy sounding, it's iste, ista, istud. That one. Distasteful. Okay. So that one complies. Quidem, what's that?
Relative pronoun.
Okay.
Oh, no.
It could, I mean, it looks like it could be a relative pronoun, but actually it's just an adverb meaning
Because.
indeed. Meaning indeed. This one complies indeed. Said. Now, where do we go from here? What's my subject of this next chunk? We're going to take this from here to here.
But you.
If it was but you, then it would be said to,
Two.
right? Because it's tu, tui, tibi, te, te. If we're addressing, it would just be tu, but it's not. It's te. I wouldn't start with she either, because we do have a very clear nominative subject here. take a look at the vocab that's given to you and see if we can piece this out. What looks nominative?
Rather than decor.
Decor, okay. I would agree with that.
But the beauty.
Um,
You wrote said.
oh, I meant to write but. Whoops. Okay, but, so this is our subject. Is decor, what's the gender of that word?
Masculine.
Masculine.
Masculine. Is iste also masculine?
Yes.
Yes. Iste, ista, istud. All right, we just talked about it. Iste, ista, istud means,
That one.
it means that, but it has this like, cringy almost aspect to it, like a negative connotation, right? So, but that beauty, that decor,
That, I'll capitalize that.
yeah, that, maybe we'll do this, ew, beauty. Okay.
Waitat.
That beauty. Oh. Yes, waitat, sorry. Okay, what is waitat?
That's not glassed.
What? Oh, it's not glass for you?
No.
Pee pee poo poo, man. All right, that's why we got these bad boys.
Yeah, baby. Wait till, wait today, wait to eat, wait to
Yeah?
to forbid.
To forbid, yes. Okay, does it take a specific case?
I don't think so.
To prevent this from, okay. All right, so waitat, to forbid. So that beauty prevents or forbids, I'll say forbids. No, yeah. Te, right, our direct object here, forbids you. Okay, now quad, what is being introduced here?
A contradictory clause.
Not quite. Nope, not a contradictory. Look at that keyword. Emily, you thought something was a keyword before.
Relative.
Yeah, we've technically got ourselves a relative clause here. Okay, so it forbids you. We're going to understand this to kind of make it make sense. From the thing. Quad, which, right, and this is accusative here, which optas, that's a verb. You, what? Desire. Esse, infinitive. To what? Sum esse fui futorum. Nope, that's facio facere.
To be.
To be, yeah. Okay, it's forbidding you from the thing which you desire to be, which is forever unmarried. Okay, so do you kind of understand like what is being said here? Right, like this narrator, this overarching narrator is saying like, yeah, you want to be single forever, but your beauty's not going to let you do that. Sorry. Like you're going to be chaste.
No.
Well, chaste, not like chaste as in prude, but like chaste as in run after.
Suffering from success, I guess. Suffering from success.
Yeah, suffering from success. That's funny. Yikes. Okay. And what? This que is connecting us here. And tua forma repugnats from tuo voto. So what is tua forma?
In
Your,
form,
yeah,
in your shape. I'm gonna say your shape.
in your shape. Why are you Ed Sheeran?
Yeah.
He's in love with the shape of her. Ew. Okay. So, and your shape, repugnats, what does it do?
Retaliates? No. Oh, fights back.
Yeah, fights back. Okay, fights back. Now, woto tuo, I labeled those for you. What are they? What case is that?
ABE? Ablative?
Yeah,
Oh,
ablatives.
Okay, I thought.
Yeah, sorry, that was kind of an ugly L. It did look like Abe. There's nothing to do with Abraham Lincoln. Okay, your shape fights back. Now, what are the 5 ways we translate ablatives?
Guiaf.
Guiaf.
With, in, on, from.
Yeah, by, within, on, from. So which one makes the most sense here? And your shape fights back with your prayer?
In prayer.
In your prayer? From your prayer? On your prayer?
In your
In your prayer.
I would say from.
Really?
Yeah. Because if, like, she's asking to be single forever, but her
Fights
beauty
back.
is pushing back against her asking, right? So it's fighting back from your prayer. Sorry, wench. Okay. So far, so good?
Indeed.
Indeed. Or should I say, cuidem? Are you done?
When is the period end?
Hey! Actually, we have a long time to go. Hey man, you signed up for this class, not me. Alright, let's keep going. Okay, so who is my subject of this next chunk? We're gonna, let's do this. Yeah, whoops. Alright, that chunk here. First things first, let's find our verbs, actually. Can we isolate our verbs?
Yes.
What? I heard et. Oh, amat, sorry, yeah. Okay. Amat is a verb, and is there another one?
Kupit.
Yeah, kupit. All right. Now, both of those are singular. Do we have a nominative singular nearby?
Indeed.
Quidem.
Cuidem. Huevos.
Yeah, phoebus. Okay, so let's keep going. So phoebus, what? Who's phoebus again?
Apollo.
Yeah. So Apollo. Amats, what does he do?
Loves.
Mm-hmm. Loves. Let's see.
And
Yeah. Okay. And Cupits. What does he do?
Not glass.
Okay. So well, stop. Don't look. Don't look. I want us to think about it. Think about it. Okay. Cupid is the god of love, but more specifically,
Babies and arrows.
desire, right? Like a wanting. Right, so this word here, cupio, cupere, probably means what then?
Desire.
Yeah, or to wish. Okay, so Apollo, see how we can figure that out? We don't need a glossary. We don't need no stinking glossary. Okay. Apollo loves...
Like baby arrow. What would you do?
I would cry out in the night like a baby with an arrow. That started out like it should have been a song. I'm sorry, I didn't follow up on that. All right, so,
Work on your musical.
yeah, we'll work on my, yeah, my musical. Everything's a musical when you're annoying. All right, so Apollo loves and desires. What looks direct object-y? Well, the note actually gives you something on that.
can you be a neuter direct object?
Neuter, direct, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's a neuter. And right, remember what's the neuter rule? The nominative and the what are the same? Accusative. And the plural neuter ends in a short a, just like this, conuvia. Okay.
Marriage.
Desires marriage.
Daphne is added, I'm guessing?
No,
Janet.
it's a Greek genitive.
Wow.
And they tell you that in the notes. Now, it sounds a little weird, right? In English, you would say, like, they desire, how would you say it? Like, marriage with this person, right? So it would be more ablative
You know
feeling.
what would sound really genitive here? Instead of saying marriage, we could say like the hand of.
Do we want to do that?
It makes sense too.
I mean, it does make sense. Let me see if that's a viable translation for conubia. No. No, unfortunately. I mean, so think of it this way, like marriage, the practice of it, like I forget the Latin phrasing, but the way it translates is like to lead the hand, right, in marriage, understood. So you're like kind of, so the idea of marriage does have to do with like leading and hands and stuff like that, but I don't see it here. Maybe it's in your glossary or dictionary. Let's see if it's acceptable. Crassitudo. No free falling. Yeah, no, it doesn't say. The only options are weird. Intermarriage, right to intermarry, or marriage.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know.
Why they have to bring intermarriage into this? Come on,
I don't know, man.
man. Married within the family.
Well, that's how it means now, I think.
Now. But
Yeah,
before it was okay.
Well, that's what it. I don't know. I don't know if it was necessarily. I mean, I guess
I stumped you on that one.
Yeah, you did stump me. Thanks. No, the Egyptian pharaohs did marry to keep the bloodlines pure, but I don't know if Romans married in their families or not. I don't think they did.
I hope not.
I would hope not to, but who knows? Ask Mr. Brownworth; he'll tell you all about it. I'm sure he knows.
Mr. Brownworth, tell me about intermarriage.
You what?
Lots of like cousins, maybe not your own like siblings, but
Oh, cousins.
related.
Oh, like the Vampire Weekend song.
Oh
Me and your cousins and okay, sorry. Yeah, so I think we're gonna just stick with marriage, and it's gonna sound a little funky, but we're gonna translate it as a genitive. So Daphnes. So the marriage. Now, what am I gonna do with Wisai though? What?
In the note, it makes it seem adverbial.
What?
I never say it's like freely.
As soon as I see Daphne, he loves him, desires marriage.
Okay, I don't know why they italicized that text. It's pretty stupid because it's not a translation. That should just be a note. That shouldn't be italicized. So that's not your fault. Let's see. All right, so Wisai, first declension. Okay, so AE, that ending, can either be I.
Nominal, plural, genitive.
Okay, so it could either be nominal, plural, genitive, singular, or dative, singular. Yeah, but we already have a genitive here. It's Daphnes. So my guess is it's probably going with that. All right, that's my best guess. So Apollo loves and desires marriage of, what is the Wisai?
See.
Of the site.
Sight.
Yeah.
Daphne.
Yeah, okay, so let's kind of pick that apart. Whoops, not Daffy. There's no ducks here. Sorry. Okay, let's think about that. Did Ovid say that he wants to marry Daphne?
Ovid?
Or, yeah, well, who's the narrator?
Oh.
Who's the narrator
Who's
here?
Ovid?
Only the author we've been
No,
reading for 3 weeks.
Before, I think it was just craziness, right? Wasn't it?
What,
Am I crazy about that?
what's craziness? Be more specific. What do you mean?
His frenzy or his chase after her. He didn't describe it as a love, did
Okay, so, well, most often Romans will describe love as this like mania, this crazy burning desire that's like, it makes you irrational and crazy. I don't remember if he actually said that, but at least in this particular passage so far. But we know that is this a real love, or is this like a superficial thing that's been created? Superficial thing. Now, if you were to say, like, let's say Elaine is being courted by this guy, and he says to her, "Oh, Elaine, I want to marry the vision of you."
That's a compliment.
Is it though? Is it though? Rather than saying, "Elaine, I wish to marry you." How are those two things different?
One is only caring about like the appearance.
One cares only about the appearance or what things may seem to be. Right? If you want to like be with somebody, I hope you'd want to be them. You know.
Stop.
So, ladies, if anyone ever says, "I want to marry the vision of you," just say nay, walk away, try again another day.
I mean, I hope that guy like will say that, you know, at least he's like honest.
Well, I guess, yeah. And then you can just sing Ed Sheeran's "Shape of You" and then walk away. Yeah. Okay, so he's making a statement here by using the word "visai" rather than just saying Daphnes by itself. Okay, I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like how you can change the meaning of it with just a little word? Okay, and boys, if you propose to a lady, please don't say, "I'd love to marry the shape of you." Just,
Will Ed Sheeran say that?
I mean, Ed Sheeran can say that because he's Ed Sheeran, but
You can get away with it.
he can get away with that. Us plebes have to suffer through the muck without so much help. Okay. Are you guys dying? Are you all right?
Not from your class, just this week.
This week's been hard.
So tough, I don't know.
Next week is worse.
Well, I think it's funny that you guys all wore like blue-ish.
Oh yeah.
What?
I obviously didn't get the memo.
Tua forma est pulchrum est. See.
Oh, we should do Centennial again.
Why
That was
would
a sentencia that reminded you of that?
Oh, no, I just suddenly remembered Centennial.
She just misses them because they were so great and exciting. Okay, maybe, but maybe not.
Okay.
I don't know. This stuff is way more interesting. Okay, I mean, I don't get to talk about like marrying the visions of people with other classes.
Every time
Just
we
you
have
guys.
three things to translate. Miss Slade always wants to translate marriage nuts, torches, like,
I'm peeing in a circle.
And peeing in a circle. Yeah, that's one of my ultimate favorites. Yeah, I taught that to Latin 1 the other day and they like lost it. Okay, so now in this next chunk, you've got this. Let's find our verbs.
cup it,
Cap it,
cop it,
coop it,
sped up, spit, butter, butter, butter.
fun. Okay, so those are our verbs here. All right, now let's see what we can do with them. So similarly to before, when I think just for word order's sake, I'm going to feed it to you a little bit. So let's start with, well, we've got this connecting que here. So, and he sperats. What does he do? Spero spere. Spero sperare, I think.
I've definitely seen that word before.
You have?
Is it wish?
No.
No?
It's a little more, it's a little stronger than a wish. A little more positive than a wish.
Positive.
It was a sententia at some
I
point.
remember it. Is this like another synonym for desire?
Okay, spiro means to breathe. So while I breathe, I spero.
I live.
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm.
Come on.
I mean, hope. Yeah, just
Hope?
hope. Yeah, while I breathe, I hope. Okay, meaning that while you're still alive, there's a chance for things to get better. Okay, but here, right, Sperat, so he hopes. Now, this quad, I'm gonna just tell you, quad cupit, we're gonna take it like a relative clause here. Okay, and he hopes for that in brackets. We're gonna say which cupit, which he what? Seen that verb already?
He desires.
Yeah, which he desires. Yeah, he hopes that he can marry her. He wants to marry the sight of her. Okay, and what else? Sua oracula.
Her eyes?
Not oculos, oracula.
Oracula.
What does it look like?
Oracle.
Yeah, and his own.
Destiny?
I would even just say his own oracles. Whoops, I went to write the Latin again. Oracles.
Fail. Right?
Yeah. Fail. Well, maybe it's a little stronger than that. Do they give you?
Deceives.
Yeah. Okay, so that's even worse. All right, and hit that. His own oracles deceive. Whoops, I before E except after C.
Oh,
No.
I made that same mistake.
Wait, it was right the first time.
Wait, what?
Right?
It was?
Yep, it was right the first time. I before E except after C. After C, E becomes I. E.
You just made me feel scratch on my face.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How dare you?
Okay, now illum. Do we know what case that is?
Accusative.
Nope.
What?
I mean, accusative was a good instinct, good knee-jerk reaction.
Good. I love it.
Dated. No?
What?
Shouldn't be. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Did you say accusative?
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
What?
Sorry.
What?
Okay, so his own oracles deceive
Him?
him. That one, that guy.
Can I ask an English question?
An English question, sure.
What is oracle?
Oracle, like prophecy, prediction.
Okay.
Yeah. Right, because remember, Apollo is the god of prophecy and prediction.
Light.
And light. And what else?
Bringing chariots with the sun.
Technically, kind of, yes, but then like Helios kind of takes that up later.
Yeah.
Poetry, mm-hmm.
Truth.
Truth, maybe. Archery, for sure.
Isn't his sister for that?
Kind
No,
of.
hunt.
Well, but so yeah, Diana kind of is also like the goddess of the hunt. But if you, in a lot of the old stories, Apollo is the one who is kind of described as like raining arrows down upon somebody or something, right? Because in the beginning of the Iliad, I think it is, the whole Greek camp is besieged by a plague that's been like fired down with arrows from Apollo specifically, right? Because one of the priestesses of Apollo kind of was violated and he was upset about it. Right, but he's the one kind of that does stuff like that often.
And then we also have a little lute.
He does have a little lute.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's also the god of lutes.
Yeah, but the funny thing about that though,
He was challenged, wasn't
he wasn't challenged. It was just, I think the way it goes is Hermes or Mercury, as a precocious little child, like killed a turtle and used the goat skin or something to kind of make strings on it, and thus created the first like lute musical instrument lyre thing. And then he gave it to Apollo as like an apology for something. I forget what he did. He did something. Do you remember what it
he?
was?
So he gave up also.
The sun cows. Ah, he stole his cows. And yeah. So as a, sorry, I stole your cows. Here's a musical instrument. It can be yours forever.
He gave up all the loot in the world
All the loot.
because of some cows.
Yeah, well, he was just a baby when he did it too. Like that's the story. But
Stupid.
What's the difference when you called Artemis, Diana, and Theseia? Like
Artemis, Diana, and who?
Cynthia? Is it
Cynthia?
Like, yeah, like I heard there's like also a goddess, like a moon. It's like I'm very confused by the naming and stuff. Yeah. I think I read something that's like say Artemis is like 3 god in one. I can't remember.
Well, I mean Artemis and that's why. Hang on. Okay.
It's like part of Artemis or something.
So here, yeah. All right. So let's talk about that. So, oftentimes, Greek gods and goddesses have Roman counterparts. So you've got Diana in the Roman tradition, Artemis in the Greek. Now, often, what poets will do, rather than just dropping the name of the god or goddess point blank, they'll call them something that has to do with an attribute of them, right? So we called Apollo the Delian before, right? That's not his name. It's just kind of making a reference to a land that he kind of cleared the snake from, and it's now sacred to him, right? In the same way that Mount Kinthus is a place on Delos specifically where supposedly Artemis was born. So like Cynthia potentially could be, is just another way to refer to Diana or Artemis. They're all the same. Yeah, so it's not really that they're like 3 goddesses in one. It's just that they're like different names for the same thing. Yeah.
So calling Zeus the lightning bolt man. Or Mr. Non-Olympus.
They call it bow and arrow man, and there's like so many.
Yeah, there's a few.
Oh, shooty guy. Pew pew.
You know what I love referring to? I love referring to Bacchus as just the drunk one.
The drunk one.
Bacchus.
Well, what do you think debauchery is? Right? It's day and Bacchus, like down from or about or concerning.
Drunk.
Drunk wine guy. Yeah,
Drunk
debauchery.
wine guy.
Debauchery. It's a great word. You should use it more.
How do you spell it?
T-E-B-A-U-C-H-E-R-Y.
I used it in my last night.
You what?
Last night's homework.
And what's
Was
the name?
debauchery?
Yeah.
Bacchus.
I used it.
B-A-A-C.
You used debauchery to do last night's homework?
What?
Are you translating
did you
and
do?
are you drinking wine while you translate them?
Yeah, anything to get through.
You sound like a grad student. You're too young. What do you mean by this?
The word. You said you should use the word more often.
And you used it
He's encouraging drinking.
in your homework?
He's encouraging underage drinking. Miss Slade, I committed debauchery last night.
Wait, was it like a part of the text that I missed? Where did you use that? All right, well, at least it's a great word and at least you used it. Okay, now this ut word, they give you a note on it if you look. Okay, ut,
Is it not as?
just as, yeah.
Just as.
Okay, so what we're going to be setting up here is an extended simile, a simile. Okay, when we talk about English, what is a simile?
Comparison.
It's a comparison between 2 things, and what usually do you need?
Like or as.
Like or as, right? Because if it's a comparison between 2 things and it's not like or as, then what is it? Metaphor, yes. Okay, so here we have our like or as. It is a simile. So let's go through it. debaucherously. Just kidding. Here we are. All right, so let's start with this and, because it's right here, this connecting quay. And just as, right, that's the ut. All right, Emily, this is the part from your project, by the way.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Just as the leves stipuli, what are those? Look up
The
the,
leg socks.
yeah, just as, maybe we'll say thin stalks. Is our subject. Our adolentour. Does that look active or passive to you guys? Adolentour. It looks passive. Now let's look where it comes from and see if we're actually going to translate it as passive. Is it a regular verb or a deponent verb?
Regular.
It's regular. So if it looks passive, we're going to translate it passively. All right. So just as thin stalks. Let's say burn, right? Is that cool?
I'm gonna do our burnt.
I'm sorry, yes, are burnt because it's passive. Stupid me. Thank you. I just finished saying it and I didn't do it. Are burnt. No, demptis, aristis. Both of those words look like they could be what case? Yeah, they're ablatives. And demptis comes from demo, demere, dempsi, demptus. It's a verb, but it's being used adjectively, which means we have a participle. And what kind is it? There's no nt in it. There's no tur in it. So that means it's got to be a... No.
Passive.
PPP.
Passive.
Yeah. Perfect passive participle. Okay. So just as the thin stalks are burnt, let's make, and how do we, so if we have a participle and a word in the ablative, and they're both like ablatives, right? What kind of grammatical construction do we have there that's absolutely thrilling to use? It's absolutely great. Help us out, boys.
Ablative. I absolutely know this one.
Ablative, absolute. Yes. Okay, so let's be formulaic about it. So just as thin stalks are burnt with the aristis, what are those?
Grains?
Yeah, with the grains. Sorry. Yeah, with the grains having been what?
Cremated. Oh, sorry, no. Cut off.
Yeah. Okay, so that's one. This is our first simile, number one. Okay, just as the thin stalks are burnt with the grains having been cut off. Okay, now we're getting smacked with another ut, which means what's probably going to hit us right now? Another simile. Okay. As, number two, the cypace is our subject. As the cypace ardent with facibus. What are those? What's a cypace?
It's the hedge.
Yeah, so as hedges, ardeo ardere, right?
Don't tell me.
Well, what is arson?
Burn.
Yeah. Okay, so as hedges burn, facibus, with what? We've seen this before. It was like pretty far up though, when Apollo was like making fun of Cupid. Torches, yeah. Yeah, so as hedges burn with torches. Now, the note tells us that quas is introducing what kind of clause?
Relative.
A relative clause, yeah. Okay, and what's the antecedent? They tell us that as well. What's also feminine? Facibus. It's facibus. Okay, so facibus is your antecedent, and this is our relative clause here. Now, quas, what case is that?
Accusative.
Yeah. Now, can we start a relative clause with an accusative? Yes. Right, because the relative clause, is it its own grammatical unit?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So even though facibus is ablative, the antecedent is ablative, the relative pronoun does not need to agree in case, but what two ways must it agree in? Gender and number, not in case. Okay. So our subject here is the viator. Let's say, all right, so as hedges burn with torches, which, a viator, what's that?
Traveler.
Yeah, a traveler. Right, and let's think about what we know about words, right? What's vi?
A road.
A road. And if you just pop an OR onto the back of that word, it's one who uses or does that thing. So somebody who uses a road is a traveler. See how that makes sense?
Wow.
Cool, right? Okay. So which a traveler, quickly?
Forte. Oh, sorry.
No, forte is by chance.
Okay. As an adverb.
Yeah, it's an adverb, by chance. So which a traveler by chance. Now, we've got well and well coming up. Do they give you anything on that? Nope. So you're going to have to look it up.
We're on our own.
Mm-hmm.
Singly or either.
Okay, so by itself it just can mean even or actually, but if you see well and then another well back to back, those are correlatives, meaning either or. Okay, so which a traveler by chance, either what? Ad moets nimis.
So that moves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, essentially.
Moves too close.
Yeah, move too close. Or yam now reliquits sub luce.
Extinguished.
Um,
Under the light.
Yeah, extinguished. Or maybe I'd say abandons.
Oh, okay.
Sub luce, under the light. Okay, now we're going to finish off this simile. Sic Deus abiit in flammas. Thus, the Deus, who's that? Yeah, the god abiit. So eo ire, to go, and a or ab means away from. So ab eo means
Go away from.
Yeah, to go away from. Yeah. So thus, the god. Wow. Actually, that doesn't make sense.
The god, thus the god goes away from the flames.
Hmm. I don't like that because it.
The inn?
Ooh, okay. Interesting. So abeo abire can mean it does mean to go away or to depart, but it can also mean to be changed, to die, or to pass away, or go forth into something.
Goes forth in flame.
Goes forth into the flames. I think that sounds pretty cool. So thus the god goes forth into the flames. Okay, and again, this is our markup. This is what we've got. Okay, and we're going to get hit with another sick. Just kidding, seek.
Thus.
Okay, thus, our God is still the subject, but he is auditor, and it looks passive. Are we going to translate it passively? Yes, because it is not a deponent. All right, but what does it mean? Uro urere usi ustus.
Destroy back the burn.
Yeah, so thus the god understood. Burned, sorry. Now, pectore toto. What case are those two words? Okay, pectus pectoris, third declension. X-E-M-A. What case is pector A?
Wait.
X-E-M-A.
Oh, okay, ablative.
It's ablative, okay? And O is probably ablative too. These two things are going together, okay? So the god is burned in what? His toto pectore.
His whole
Yeah,
chest muscle.
his whole chest. Masterful use of the passive voice, masterful use. And he nutrits. What does he do? Like nutrition, what are you doing?
Supplies.
Supply, I'd say nourish. So, and he nourished, sorry. Sterilem amorem. What case is that?
Accuser.
Nourished. What kind of love would be sterilem? Like if you're sterile, what can you not do?
Like the man who proposed to Elaine earlier.
Cannot have kids. Because she said no. Yes. No, so sterile just means you can't have children. So in other words, you are not able to bear fruit. In other words, you are fruitless. Okay, so he nourished a fruitless love, I guess we could say here.
I thought it meant like a loveless love, but okay, that works too.
That works.
Now, sperando, let's just talk really quickly about what that is. It's got an ND in it, boys.
Oh,
What is it?
gerundive.
It's a gerundive. Actually, it's just a gerund here because it's ablative. But
Okay.
all right, but it's got that ND. It's a future.
Active participle.
I think. Yes, future active participle. Yeah. So, the god is burned in his whole chest and nourished fruitless love by or with hoping.
Right, hope.
Yeah, by hoping. Okay. So sad.
Beautiful. Just
All right, so that's where we got to for next class, and I will actually post it this time because I'm a stinky poo-poo head. Monday is a Friday schedule.
that means
Next
we
week.
get to have some more time.
That means we get to have more fun next week. Over the weekend, if you can, at the very least, get through Putat over here. But if you're feeling super spicy and extra, get a little further.
Which one not
Nathan, where'd you get to?
Maybe. Well,
This is where we just-
Right there? Okay.
well, I mean, that's what the homework was, and he remembered. Okay, I will post it though. And honestly, if you finish homework and you like don't have anything to do, keep pushing forward because we're gonna come to it eventually anyway. All right.
If we finish homework, it's just like a if.
Will you give us a candy?
I mean, I have dum dums. You know, I don't know.
Really?
Not with me, but I can bring them.
We're the dum-dums.
No, you're not the dum dum.
That is not bad.
They're
All
like
right.
lollipops.
Ciao for now.